transferable value. I'm Joe Carter, founder of the Twin Flame Group and partner with the franchise consulting company. So I've sat across from buyers, private equity groups, and founders at every stage. And I can tell you this: buyers don't pay for complexity, they pay for clarity. And today's guest is solving one of the biggest killers of value in growing businesses: operational chaos. Monty Miller is the president and CEO of Orchatect, a platform designed to orchestrate data systems and workflows across multi location businesses, franchises, healthcare groups, retail, you name it. Most founders stack tools, but Monty builds systems that actually talk to each other. If you're running a business with multiple locations, vendors, dashboards, or just too many moving parts, this episode is going to hit home. Let's get into it. First and foremost, Monty, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I really appreciate you taking the time to meet today.
Absolutely, we're looking forward to it. Let's start here. Your journey from and telecom into your company here. What pushed you to build the company back in 2018?
So we've come from a long line of telecom. So we worked for Nortel Networks and Ericsson in the past. And so not only building those networks, and most people are familiar with, the 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G networks. We built those networks and optimized those networks for a lot of the U.S. carriers, Canada carriers. So you're familiar with T-Mobile and Verizon and AT&T, Bell, TELUS in Canada, and then Southeast Asia as well. And it was with that journey that we understood how a lot of these systems and platforms and applications didn't talk to each other. And it's always been a big problem, even with the larger companies. So really what we worked at is this orchestration. So you not have to maintain a spreadsheet to manage the gaps in your business. You can actually directly talk to that. Historically, that's been a deep mapping exercise. It's very complicated. It takes months. Now with the use of APIs and webhooks, we've got Zapier is a company that provides that type of API. We have that built into our platform. So we're not charging extra for that. It all becomes part of the product. So it makes life a lot easier for our users, and data flows seamlessly across those platforms based on a use case.
I love that. What I hear is you saw some fragmentation early, decided to solve it at a system level, not at a symptom level. I absolutely love it.
Yeah,
So
totally
what
agree
is
with
it?
that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah, no, it's really it's not just the tech stack, but it's your way of working and simplifying your processes. You don't want to spend all day working on a spreadsheet to get an answer for something that you have to do elsewhere. So you want to have that from the beginning. So we provide that data and those answers up front from a business intelligent business management perspective, and then take that data so you can make it actionable. So you can spend the rest of your day working on your business, not working in your business.
I love that. And that might be at least a partial answer to the next question. What's that core problem that you solve for multi location businesses? And why is it more urgent today, maybe, than it was, let's say, 5 years ago?
So I love that. And thank you. That's a great question. I think the first thing we do is we help these brands organize their business. Everything that we've built is on a per location basis, which makes us unique and differentiates us from others. The second piece is helping them get off the spreadsheets and automate their workflow. Right. That's one of the biggest productivity killers with regard to having a system. If you have a brand with 10 locations and you're growing to 25, that chaos and that fragmentation is extreme. We allow you to do this in a single pane of glass to understand your location. We even have maps so you can just click on it, make it simple, low click, and automate as many processes as possible. But that fragmentation is inherent to any company with multiple locations.
I love it. And I tell my clients this all the time: your business will tell on itself. Whatever problem or chaos you're trying to deal with today is only going to amplify itself when you attempt to scale. So I
100%
love that.
agree. 100% agree. And we really, that's what we do, is we help these brands that are 10 to 50 locations organize themselves so that they can scale from a tech perspective. And then with the larger companies, it's all about cleaning up their existing tools and solutions so they can do more with less and then increase their profit margin while they're increasing the scale.
Love it. I love it. I love it. Monty, you are not only leading the company, but you're also deeply tied into both the product and the platform. So how do you balance that CEO responsibility with product leadership?
I believe very strongly in servant leadership. There's so many times that I refer to myself as the head janitor, right? And it's a team effort. You surround yourself with people that are smarter than you, and not only within the company, but with our partners as well. And because our objective is to give our clients the best tools and solutions that they need. It's not something we offer. We do it all in one, but we help them solve their business problems and then move on to the next. We're not going to solve everything day one, but we are within a 2 or 3, 4, 5 month period. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And in my opinion, that's where most founders break. They either stay too deep in the weeds or they completely disconnect from the engine entirely. So you're doing a very nice balancing act there. Great job.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So let's break down is it Maestro? Am I saying it correctly? The Maestro solution?
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Right. Maestro. Yeah.
So when you say one pane of glass, what does that actually look like in the real world to a real client?
So single pane of glass, it refers to the ability to orchestrate a lot of different systems, whether it's accounting, point of sales, learning management, digital media, social media, UCAS or VoIP systems. Putting all that into a single pane of glass, think of it as the cockpit to your business, and then we'll orchestrate that. We do not want to talk about an all-in-one solution. We're really an orchestration layer to help those business owners manage all of their locations or just one at a time and do both within that single pane of glass.
I love that. I talk to founders or executives virtually every single day, and I'm like, show me your dashboards. And there's like 12 of them. I'm like, how on earth do you manage all of this? And they try to call that visibility. I call it chaos because it's not clarity. It's just noise, in my opinion, at that point. So I love that.
Yeah. The big differentiator we have is really on the engine behind the scenes, right? So that we practice IT service management. So so your large corporate companies like ServiceNow, it's a $200 billion company. We very much model ourselves after that, using the same call flows and operational workflows so that people can use the solution and make it easier. We've taken the extra step to actually provide solutions on top of that. So it's all about the service. It's all about taking care of our clients. We meet with our clients every week to work through any and all issues. And we found that to be very successful for us and for them.
I love it. I love it. And I know you service a wide variety of different type of clients, franchises, healthcare, retail, senior care. So how do you build one system that can flex across all those different types of industries?
No, great question with that, because that's we get that quite a bit. Now with franchising, it's really about multi-location, and then you've got item 7, item 19, item 20, and you need to organize that piece of it. So most of your businesses have the same requirements. It's revenue generation, it's accounting, it's CRM, and learning management. Those are the main pieces of that. That is a common theme across all these industries. So whether it's food and beverage, whether it's salon and services, whether it's home health care, whether it's education and medical, most of those systems are the same. The orchestration for us comes, we'll integrate in access care for medical, Square or Clover or Mevo or any of these other point of sale systems. And then we partnered with QuickBooks as part of Intuit to integrate that. So we're able to automate a lot of these workflows that are very much manual. A good example would be the royalty payment product that we have now, where we take days of work and turn it into a few minutes.
Wow, that's amazing. That's the difference between tools and platforms right there. Tools will solve a task, but a platform creates leverage. I love it.
And that's exactly why we refer to it as a solution, because it's literally both. It's not only having access to the data, but what you do with it. How do you make it actionable, and how do you get it to work for you? And our clients love that aspect of it because we tackle all of it.
I love it. And many of my clients fall into that franchise space. So I'd love to dive in slightly deeper into that royalty automation that you have. So what's that problem that you're seeing that made that type of automation necessary?
Yeah, no, great question. Because as we, started out on this journey 3-4 years ago, that was the biggest issue that our clients were telling us, is like the royalty payments, collecting the process, knowing what you paid, was one of the biggest problems they had. So we knew that was a pain point that we needed to solve. When you do royalty payments, you have to send out an invoice, you do a bank transaction, you send a receipt, update your QuickBooks or accounting system, and then you update your Excel spreadsheet to make sure you capture the work that's been done. And one of the clients we had, I think they had 62 locations at the time. It was they were hiring 2 people about 3 days every month to collect these royalty payments. So what we've done is we've taken that 4-step, 5-step manual process and turned it into a single click. So we've created a template. We use that orchestration to collect the revenue and determine that, any of the fixed fees, what day of the month, that template's applied, and then it creates an invoice. And then you basically just collect the button. It'll actually do the bank transaction, send the receipt, and update the QuickBooks in that single click. Now, what's fun with this, right? That saves a lot of time, but now you can select all of your locations and then hit the collect button, and it'll run them all. That's why we're able to do this stuff in less than 10 minutes that used to take days.
I love it. A clickable button solution is always better than a whole bunch of Excel spreadsheets or a human being trying to do it. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, totally agree with that. To automate those processes, that's huge. I mean, the customers that are using it now just rave about it, and it's just it's been an amazing improvement, because that all of that frustration and chaos can be eliminated by connecting these different systems together.
Totally agree. And in my opinion, integration is where a lot of companies stall or potentially fail. Legacy systems, multiple vendors, all of that. So how do you actually solve those issues without breaking the operation?
So for us, it's, we work with companies that have APIs and webhooks, and the majority do these days, so we stay away from the legacy systems. So when you talk about having access to a data lake or data warehouse, that was acceptable 15 years ago. But now we need access to the data. It needs to be current, and it needs to be very low cost. So that's what we help them. So we'll assess their tech stack, see which ones apply. We may need to change out a point of sale system or accounting system for that, but we can build it on the back end in our test environment for, say, 1 or 2 locations, prove everything works, go live, and roll it out to the other locations. So, the application and the operation of building that is not as high stress as you would think it would be. And plus, you'll save a ton of money by automating those solutions and workflows. You can do a lot more. So, think of a process that, you have 5 people hired to take care of that. But with this, you can do 2. That's 3 head count that you can either move to other areas or eliminate from the budget. So that's our vision, and what our passion is, to help them make this solution non-cost, right? So they save so much money that Maestro really doesn't cost them anything. And then they can grow and scale after that.
I love it. That's strategic alignment across the entire business right there. That's
Absolutely.
fantastic.
Absolutely.
What has changed the most since you first started the company, and then opposite, what's remained consistent since day one?
Yeah, I think the real disruptor here is the AI aspect of it. We've built everything with that in mind, and our platform is machine learning AI centric anyway. It's the change here is, I think, with the mindset that people have that AI, you can just ask a question via a prompt, or push a button and it'll give you the magic answer. And that's not necessarily the case, especially when you're managing a business. So what we've been applying and going live with is agentic AI workflows that help them get things done faster, and then leave the generative AI access and those kind of things separate. And that's worked really well so far. Now there's some big things we're building under the hood right now that are going to be very exciting for our future clients and our existing clients. But we stay very aligned with the Fortune 1000 companies and the things that they're doing, and giving those tools to the mid-level enterprise space, so to speak, so that they can have access to these modern tools that they otherwise wouldn't have access to.
That's freaking fantastic. If you're in the Fortune 1000 company, you obviously have access to a lot of stuff that someone underneath that scope doesn't. So you're creating the capability for a smaller company to be able to leverage those same tools is a game-changing moment. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, the relationships and the collaboration we have with the people in those companies, and we all work together. We share ideas, collaborate, and do those things so we're all kind of in step with everything else. So our clients are protected. This solution is future proofed. If you need to change out your CRM or your point of sales or learning management system at some point, either now or in the future, we can do that on the back end with very little change. So the Maestro will be your baseline solution, and then your tech stack can be adjusted as needed.
Future proof. That's a buzzword right there, but you're delivering upon it. That's amazing.
Absolutely.
What is that? What's that biggest mistake that you see multi-location operators are making today in the current state?
I think it comes with the mindset and the ways of working. It's if you do things the same way all the time and expect a different result, that's not going to get it. So, and this industry, is so sales driven and so marketing driven. There's not a lot of real tech in tech, despite the existing franchise management systems. So that's the thing that we want to make sure that you build that process around that. The sales, the marketing, the brokers, the consultants, and all that all have access to the same type of tools so that they can work together more cohesively.
Totally agree. Couldn't agree more, actually, because in my personal opinion, you can grow revenue but destroy value if your back end is broken. So that's fantastic.
Yeah. It's not just the capital expenditure capex. It's that opex, and it can grow over time in ways that you never envisioned if you don't have your systems and your tech stack set up correctly.
100% agree. 100% agree. How do you measure client ROI after implementation? What actually moves the needle there?
The big thing is to get that ROI on, say, for a franchisee, when they make that investment in a brand, to get that ROI back and show profitability. I think that's one of the big things. And then at the brand level, to show what they're spending on marketing and different pieces their way, to show how they're growing, how they're spending their money, what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. It's a performance thing. So when you talk about business insight and business intelligence, it's being able to take action on that and collect that ROI information. So we have access to the data, but the biggest piece is ROI for that franchisee to be profitable so that they can actually acquire or purchase more locations. Because we found out in franchising, when you're a franchisee, sure, you'll buy one location, but your mindset or your mind's eye says, hey, I want 5 or I want 10 to have economies of scale, right? So how do you do that? You've got to have the right systems and tools and processes in place to make that happen. So we measure that so that they can understand, hey, I'll be profitable in 12 months. Now I can start leveraging that additional cash for additional locations. That's a good example.
I totally agree. And dealing with franchises all day long, every day, that's a win for both sides of the equation. The franchisee obviously gets to scale to multiple locations, but it's great for the brand because, in my opinion, one of the biggest differentiations between a good brand And a great franchise brand is what percentage of current operators rebuy another territory. That really
Exactly.
showcases that it's a scalable brand. So it's helping both ends of the equation there.
Yeah, no, and I completely agree with that, Joe. And we're starting to see that, even though we've only been in the marketplace here less than 4 years, we're seeing that in with these customers. And what we love is the brands that we help. You know, the one that's growing the fastest. We started out at 11 locations, and they were using 8 different tools or systems, and we got that down to 3 or 4. And they're currently at 87 locations open right now, and bragging about royalty payments and audits for their company and all that. And we love that because we just feel we're an enabler to them. And they'll be in the 120 range by the end of the year. We don't expect every company to be like that, but for those that want to do that and grow responsibly, yeah, we're here to help.
Fantastic. Let's tie this together with something that I personally care deeply about because it's how I help my clients is more the end of the life cycle of a
Right.
business entrepreneur, exit readiness. So where does operational orchestration impact valuation?
So that's a great question, and it's something that we've been working on for the last few months. Within franchising, you have what's in the FDD item 19 and item 20. So item 19 will allow you to pull those systems together. These brands have been relying on Excel spreadsheets to capture the revenue and the cost per location, which franchisees have stayed open, which ones have closed, which ones have transferred. All of that, we've automated that piece of it here. So we've already went live with the item 19. The item 20 is coming here in the next 30 to 60 days. And so when you talk about exit readiness, you don't have to spend all this time putting all the numbers together. We've already automated that process within the dashboard and collecting that data. So that's what we talk about orchestration. You have one piece of data, you can use it multiple times, much like a blockchain scenario, right? So when you talk about exit readiness, you've got the data, you've got the information. And if there's something missing, Joe, because that's what we love about our clients, tell us, open a ticket. We have our own incident management ticketing system. Open the ticket, we'll get it updated, changed, and added to your space, and then you're ready to go. So the time to understand, am I ready to exit? Am I profitable? You have those answers there, and you're going to understand, what do I need to do, or do I need to do anything at all?
Love it. Data drives validation. Systems create predictability, transferability, increases multipliers. Like everything happens when you have that system that you just referenced in place. That's fantastic.
Yes.
Looking forward, future vision. What's next? Where are you doubling down over the next, let's say, 12 to 24 months?
Yeah, it's really about how we do the agentic AI workflows and how we increase the productivity, automate some of these other manual processes. So we've got items that we want to put in front of our clients, and specifically item 20, right? So that's first and foremost. The next piece is how we take advantage of these different systems and derive other automated workflows so that they will know what's going on in their business and be able to address it immediately, so they can log in and get all that information. The next piece of it, it's voice, it's AVI, and some of those pieces where they can just basically talk to it. What do I need to work on today? What's my pain point I need to solve? And so we're having a lot of fun with that in deploying that for our clients, but then just improving their day-to-day workflow so that they can grow and scale much more efficiently. They don't have to worry about the tech. They just use that to understand how their business is performing and how it needs to grow.
Love it. Future vision and having the capacity to have clarity on what you're attempting to execute allows you the capacity to be able to ensure you achieve it. So I look forward to all those things you just referenced.
Yes.
For the founder, the franchisee, the franchisor, whomever who's listening to this and feels buried in tools, dashboards, and disconnected systems, what's the first move that they should make to connect with you and your team?
We always recommend a demo. We love to demo the Maestro solution because every brand, every company, even inside of franchising and out, is a little bit different. Depending on the type of customer. So we like to understand the current methodology, the tech stack that they have, tools they're using, and then look to improve upon that. So for us, there's a lot of consulting that goes on, but it's just part of the Maestro solution. We don't charge extra for that. It's really about a per location pricing, but we always ask for a demo just to get to know the brand owners, understand their vision, what they want to do, so we can help facilitate that on a tech basis.
Fantastic. That's amazing. Monty, this was sharp. This was like freaking amazing. You're not just building software, you're building operational clarity, and that's one of the most undervalued assets out there in business today. So thank you for being on with us today, because I know you're a super busy guy being a CEO and being involved in product development and everything like that. So thank you for taking time away to be here with us and our audience.
No, thank you, Joe. I really appreciate you taking the time to kind of get the word out and know that there's a better way to do business, especially in the franchise space.
Couldn't agree more. There's definitely a way to do that. Monty and his team will help you do it. If you would like, scroll down in the commentary. We will include hyperlinks to all the different social ways that you can reach out to Monty and his team and ensure that you connect with them and can leverage systems for scalability. So out there, everybody that's listening, too many founders are chasing scale without knowing what they're actually scaling. The goal is not always more revenue, it's more value. And systems like this that Monty and his team to put together is what turns a business into something that a buyer is going to compete for. If you're serious about building a company that runs without you and sells at a premium, check out my next upcoming live section, the Exit Readiness Framework, happening next week, where we'll include the links to register for it in the commentary as well. But outside of that, until next time, lead with clarity, manage with systems, and thrive with strategy. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.